Branding.
Marketing is everything. For me, marketing is king. I love what Jimmy said, and actually, I'm glad you spoke before I did, because I was going to reiterate that. Looking at the music experience, sometimes you have to ask yourself why have Nigerians and South Africans penetrated Kenya and East Africa? But let's talk about Kenya, and we haven't penetrated their markets. It's content. I think in the creative industries we suffer an inferiority complex as Kenyans.
Yep.
This has to be said.
Yep.
Coupled with our identity crisis, which has really embedded this inferiority complex into us, that we haven't got that much value in our story. And to be honest, I mean, I've been in the music industry 25 years, internationally and locally. I can tell you one thing. Right now, Africa is the place for so many things: art, fashion, music, the whole creative arts, And I love Jimmy's story, which I know very well, because who would have thought, a story about Muriithi would hit. And that's the thing. We, even in our fashion, what we wear, we just lack that confidence. And if we just start reaching into ourselves and telling our story in all media, you'll actually find an uptake of immense proportion, because it is true. People are tired of hearing about the American and the European story. It's been told and told and told in the games. It's reached like a peak where you can't actually go past the ceiling. What new experience are you going to create? So I think, one, yes, content is extremely key, but reach within. A lot of the app developers, I've had the opportunity to run, I do business skills training for creative entrepreneurs, and I know I've worked with a lot of app developers over the last 5 years or so. And one thing I find a challenge, and I don't know if it's still a challenge currently, but it definitely, as much as 12 months ago, appeared to be a challenge, is a lot of the problems with creative products is that as creatives, naturally, we give birth to the product. And it's a natural skill in us, as a creative. It's just something that's there. And you don't plan it, it happens. Okay, whether you're a musician, a painter, it just comes out. And most of the time, your idea is not market-led. You know what I mean? It's creative-led. You know what I mean? You do it even if somebody wasn't going to buy it anyway. If you're not going to make... So, making money out of it is actually not the primary objective. For most, I'm just generalizing here, but on average, for most creatives. And I think that's part of the reason that's plaguing even the local app developers, is that it's this idea of... And then it's created, because I've had a lot of people come to me and say, okay, we've got this, how now do we sell it? As opposed to, maybe when you've got the idea, start saying, okay, I've got the idea, but hang on, let me just do a sort of business sort of plan or strategy around it and see whether it's actually viable before I spend all my, life savings of 20,000 shillings into it. And then, I'm talking about the average 19, 16-year-old, not just saying, hashtag. So, I think it's very important to actually, for the app developers to build these skills, these business skills, to look at it without losing their creativity, or partner with somebody who has those skills to start looking at the market. Because as has been rightfully pointed out, when you put up an app online, you're not looking at the Kenyan market, you're looking at a huge international market. So you do have to be unique, to be discoverable, and tell your story. And I think that we need to change. I think we can create a new business model for apps. I think let's stop trying to use what's there. Let's create our own story. In the way M-Pesa has led the international, has led the world really in mobile money. Let's create our own story maybe, and re-look at our models and say, okay, it's not working really. How can we do it our own way?